Hello children, today let us start class 8 mathematics, recapitulation of chapter 3, understanding quadrilaterals. In this exercise 3.3. Here, first bit, first question. Given a parallelogram ABCD, complete each statement along with the definition of property used. Here, a parallelogram is given ABCD, where some of the statements are given. These statements we should complete, that is, what they are exactly and the reason behind it. First, AD is given. AD is a line segment, that is a side of a parallelogram where it is equal to BC. AD is equal to BC. Is the opposite side of a parallelogram. Opposite, and AD is equal to BC because opposite sides of parallelogram are equal. Sides of a parallelogram are equal. So AB is also equal to CD, but here only AD is asked, so AD is equal to BC. AD is equal to BC. Now, next one, angle DCB. Angle DCB is equal to angle DAB. Opposite angles of parallelogram are also equal. Angle DAB. Opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. Next one, OC. OC is part of the diagonal. Here the diagonal is OA and this is half of the diagonal. Here in a parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. That means this diagonal divides this diagonal exactly into two equal halves. So OC is equal to OA. Diagonals bisect each other. Bisect each other. That means it divides the other diagonal into two equal parts. Bisect each other. Now, measurement of angle DAB. Angle DAB, this one, plus CDA, this one, both are, if you add both, it will be 180. Why? Because adjacent angles in a parallelogram are supplementary. Adjacent angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. Supplementary in the sense 180 degree. Sum of those two angles will be 180 degree. So here addition of angle DAB plus angle CDA is equal to 180 degree. So these are the properties which these statements possess. Now let us move on to the second problem in this second bit. So this is also a parallelogram where some of the sides, all the sides are given. Let us write this as ABCD. And in this parallelogram, all angles are not given, some are given, some are not given. Find the values of XYZ. We have to write the values of XYZ. First, let us consider solution. Consider parallelogram ABCD. In this, angle B is equal to angle D is equal to 112 degree, which is opposite angle. Opposite angles are equal. Angles are equal. Using this property, we can say that angle B is equal to angle D. Therefore, Y is equal to 112 degree. Now, if you consider this triangle, that is triangle. Consider triangle ACD. In triangle ACD, 40 plus y plus x gives you 180 degree. This is angle sum property, that is sum of three angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Angle sum property. This is called angle sum property of a triangle. Where sum of three angles will be 180. Now 40 plus y plus x, from the above result we can say 40 plus y is 112 plus x is equal to 180. X plus 152 is equal to 180. X is equal to 180 minus 152. We subtract here, 10 minus 2 is 8, and this is 7 minus 5 is 2, 28 degree. X is 28 degree. So now let me find out the Z. How to find out the Z? Therefore, Z is equal to angle Z is equal to angle X is equal to, we know angle X is 28, so Z also will be 28 because interior opposite angles. These are interior opposite angles. Interior opposite angles will be equal. Angles will be equal. Therefore, X is equal to Z is equal to 28. Therefore, X is equal to 28 degree, Y is equal to 112 degree, and Z is equal to 28 degree. The measure of the two angles, adjacent angles of the parallelogram are in the ratio 3:2. Find the measure of each of the angles of a parallelogram. So here a parallelogram is given, that is ABCD. We should draw the figure here. ABCD is a parallelogram. Let us consider, let ABCD be a parallelogram. Where angles B and angle C are given, or here only two adjacent I have given, any two adjacent you can take. I am considering B and C, 3x and 2x. So, and measure of angle B is equal to 3x, measure of angle C is equal to 2x. So, these are the two angles, and property of the parallelogram where adjacent angle property is, if you add two adjacent angles, its sum will be those will be supplementary, that is the sum will be 180. So 3m of B plus m of C is equal to 180. Why? The reason is adjacent angles are supplementary. Adjacent angles are supplementary. That means their sum will be 180 degree. So this is the property which is used here. So m of B, that is measurement of B is 3x plus measurement of 2 is 2x, that is they are in the ratio 3:2, which is given here, the given data. So it is 180. 5x is equal to 180. X is equal to 180 divided by 5. Transpose this 5 to RHS. 5 ones are 5 3s are 15, 3 remains 6. 5 3s are 15, 3 remains, this will become 30. 5 6 are 30. Therefore, X is 36 degree. So, now, once you find out the X, now you can find out 3x. 3x is equal to 3 into 36. That is 3 6 are 18. Carry 1. 3 3 are 9 plus 1 10. 108 degree. So, which angle is 3x? 108 degree is equal to B. Also equal to D because opposite angles. Opposite angles. Because here we need to find all the angles. Find the measure of each of the angles. That refers to all the angles. So now 2x is equal to 2 into 36. You see, 2 6 are 12. Carry 1. 2 3 is 6 1 7 72 degree. Which refers to C. C is equal to A. Opposite angles of parallelogram are equal. Therefore, angle B and D is 108 degree, angle C and D is 72 degree because opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. Now let us move on to 8th problem. Find x and y in following parallelogram. Here a parallelogram is given where all the sides length is given. You should find out the value of x and y. Here x is given, this side is given in terms of x, this side is given in terms of y. So by seeing some of the given data, we can calculate x and y. Now opposite sides of the parallelogram are equal. So let GUNS be a parallelogram. GU is equal equal to SL. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. It is opposite sides. Just write here opposite sides as the reason. So the value of GU is 3y minus 1, which is equal to SL is 26. Now solve the equation. 3y is equal to 26 plus 1. Transpose this minus 1 to RHS. 3y is equal to 27. Y is equal to 27 by 3. Transpose this y to RHS. This is 9. 3 ones are 3, 9. Therefore, y is equal to 9. Now, in the same way, yes, GS is equal to UN because those are also opposite sides. GS is equal to UN because opposite sides. Opposite sides of the parallelogram. If you want, you can write the statement or else no need. Because already it is mentioned that the given figure is a parallelogram. So GS is 3x, which is equal to UN is 18. X is equal to transpose this 3 to RHS. It will be denominator 3 ones are 3 6. And x is equal to 6. Therefore, x is equal to 6. Therefore, x is equal to 6 and y is equal to 9. These are the required value in the parallelogram. Now it is the same problem. Second one, find the value of x and y. Here a parallelogram is given R, U and S. In this we have two diagonals, that is SU and RN, and O is the point where it divides the diagonal into two equal halves. So here we can write that OU is equal to, this is OU is equal to OS because diagonals of the parallelogram bisect each other. Diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Bisect each other. So we can say that O divides equally this US or SU, OS is equal to OU. Therefore, OU is y plus 7, which is equal to OS, which is 20. Now, y is equal to 20 minus 7, transpose this 7 to RHS, y is equal to 30. And one more, same here again, RO is equal to OM. RO is equal to OM. Diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other. So RO is 16, which is equal to x plus y. Or you can interchange the values. X plus y is equal to 16. X we don't know, y we know. X as it is plus y is 13 is equal to 16. X is equal to transpose this y, that is value of y 13 to RHS. 16 minus 13. So x is equal to 3. Therefore, x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 13. This ends the exercise 3.3. Now let us move on to exercise 3.4. In this second question, identify all the quadrilaterals that have, first one, 4 sides of equal length. Which are the quadrilaterals? Which those have sides of equal length. In the quadrilaterals we have studied all the types: trapezium, parallelogram, rhombus, square, kite. But here 4 sides of equal length: square, and rhombus. These are the 2 parallelograms which have all the sides equal. 4 sides of equal length. 4 right angles. Rectangle and a square. These 2 have 4 right angles. Now, in this fourth question, name the quadrilateral whose diagonals bisect each other. Whose diagonals bisect each other? In which of the quadrilaterals diagonals bisect each other? Parallelogram, rhombus, square and rectangle. In this, the diagonals divide the other diagonals. One diagonal divides the other diagonal into two equal halves. So, in these quadrilaterals, that is parallelogram, rhombus, square and rectangle, diagonals bisect each other. Second one, diagonals are perpendicular bisector of each other. In which one? Rhombus and square. In rhombus and square, diagonals are perpendicular bisector of each other. That means they divide the other diagonal into equally half but at 90 degree. Now, in this last one, diagonals are equal. Parallelogram and rectangle. In these two, diagonals are equal. Now let us move on to sixth problem. ABC is a right angled triangle and O is midpoint of this triangle. Sorry, this ABC is the right angled triangle. We are considering only this part ABC, and O is the midpoint of the side of the opposite of the right angle. So this is the right angle and O is the midpoint on this opposite side of the right angle, that is nothing but hypotenuse. Already in your 7th standard you have learned right angle property where opposite side of the 90 degree is called hypotenuse. But here no need to mention it, just for your knowledge I am telling. This is the hypotenuse AC if you consider ABC as the right angle. Explain why O is equidistant from A, B and C. So in the solution, in this right angle triangle, before taking right angle triangle, first consider the rectangle, or else the given figure you can call it as a rectangle where AB is parallel to CD and AB is also equal to AB. If AB is parallel to CD and AB is also equal to CD. Now AD is parallel to BC and AD is also equal to BC. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. Sides are equal and parallel. Now the diagonals AC and BD bisect each other. Diagonals AC and BD bisect each other. Bisect each other because the two diagonals bisect each other. That means they divide the other diagonal into two equal halves. Then all the interior angles in a rectangle are 90 degree. All the interior angles are 90 degree. Here all the angles are 90 degree. Now, by observing all this, we can say that AO is equal to OC is equal to OB is equal to OD, because same diagonals bisect each other. So the midpoint of a diagonal divides the diagonal into two equal parts. So AO is equal to AOC because AC is twice of double of AO. So OB is equal to OD and OC is equal to OA. This is the proof. So this is the end of chapter 3. In our next video, we will move on to chapter 4, that is practical geometry. Thanks a lot.